Hello and welcome everyone to the week ahead commodity report for the 12th to the 16th of November 2018, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. We will be reviewing gold and oil for the week ahead. Last week, of course, we had the midterms and also the Federal Reserve meeting, and overall this has ended the week with a positive for the US dollar, breaking back out towards 16-month highs. On Friday, gold dropped 1% to a 1-month low as the Federal Reserve reaffirmed its monetary tightening stance with a view to increase interest rates at the next Federal Reserve meeting and FOMC statement on Wednesday the 19th of December. Meanwhile, hedge funds and money managers, they have cut their net sell short positions in COMEX gold and silver contracts over the last week, whilst hedge funds have cut their bullish wagers on US crude oil to the lowest level in more than a year. And of course, we've seen oil prices tumble again over the last week, posting the longest stretch of daily decline since 1984. So with that, let's move over to the charts and we'll talk you through the levels that we're looking at as we go into next week. First of all, let's move over to gold. So on Friday, the US dollar rose back towards 16-month highs, putting pressure certainly on a number of major currencies against the dollar, but of course also gold and silver prices too. So gold here on Friday has revisited, in fact, previous resistance, which is providing some support here into the close. We can see actually where gold is finding some support at the moment around the 50-day moving average and approximately into the close at $1,209 US dollars. It will be interesting to see next week whether we do hold this level or whether gold needs to roll over and revisit back towards 1,200 US dollars. Week to week, gold is still tending to move within a 250 point range or 25 US dollar range. Certainly last week, the peak of that range was the move back towards $1,236, but there was no follow through on a revisit to that level. In fact, gold attempted to break out of that level 3 times before then rolling over after the FOMC statement on Thursday. And where we're poised at the moment, we're right back at this support zone of $1,209. What I would be looking at going into next week is whether we hold at this level, and there is a little bit of support here just around the 1209 to 1207 level, whether we bounce from this zone and we make a move back towards the upper end of this channel, which could see a move and a retracement back towards $1,223, or whether we just see more follow through here, taking the price back towards $1,200, which would be the 50% retracement level from this recent breakout from the lows here back at $1,160 back in August, and the highs here, of course, more recently at $1,243. So if gold does roll over, I would look for the price then to come back towards $1,200, and potentially if there is no support at the beginning of next week and we were to see, let's say, another 20 to 25 US dollar move for gold here, it's certainly within the realm of possibility that gold has the potential to roll over back towards $1,191 if there is no support for gold going into next week. But it really depends how gold reacts at the beginning of next week here. So whether we do bounce off support or previous resistance here, which could turn into support, or whether we just see a rollover, more pressure to the downside as a result of the potential for more strength in the US dollar. The US dollar is very close now to breaking above the 16-month highs, and we're certainly seeing some of the commodity currencies, for example the Australian dollar, US dollar, look vulnerable to more downside as we go into next week. Now moving over to oil prices, US oil broke back below $60 US per barrel on Friday. In fact, you can see here where we've just about closed below that $60 handle here. So oil closing the week at $59.97 per barrel here. So if we zoom out a little bit on the chart, you will see where oil has revisited the swing lows here, going back towards February of 2018. In fact, on a closing basis, we're holding around the $60 US handle at the moment. But certainly as we go into next week, we want to see whether this level will hold. It's a very key psychological level of support here at $60 US per barrel. We saw that level briefly get flushed out with a move down to $59.40 per barrel on Friday, and we've had a bit of a retracement into the close here, but it still does look vulnerable as we go into next week. It has been the biggest losing streak here for US oil since 1984. It is now down 22% off the highs here, where at the beginning of October US oil broke out to 4-year highs, and since then we've really seen an acceleration of price action to the downside. Now, one point to note on oil is that OPEC is due to convene this weekend amid worries over surging oil supplies, and we haven't really seen much response from OPEC yet, and I would watch out for that as we go into next week. Week to week, we're still tending to see US oil move within that $3 to $4 US range. So as we go into next week, and seeing as we've closed here around $60 per barrel, if we were to see rollover and another move here back towards the lower end of this channel, the next key level of support resides at approximately $57.24 per barrel. On the resistance side here, I would be looking at resistance to come in just over $62 per barrel here. So I'm looking at this overhead level of approximately $62.88 per barrel. That is resistance for oil as we go into next week. So we want to see if oil will gain any footing here at the $60 level as we go into next week. For the time being, certainly the trade has been to sell into any retracements, but we have now seen over 9 days of consecutive lower highs, lower lows and lower closes for oil, which would suggest that soon we could see some sort of a bounce or a retracement here. I would certainly keep an eye on the potential for some big moves here on oil as we go into next week. Now, if you would like to be kept updated with the exact trades that we will be taking at the Gold and Silver Club in real time, where you're alerted via WhatsApp, email and SMS, and really join a community of successful traders, there is an opportunity for you to do so at the Gold and Silver Club. If you would like to join our private members live trading room, you get access to the following. So you have access to live trade alerts. Those are delivered via WhatsApp, email and SMS. You have access to mentorship, expert advice, in-depth market analysis and trusted insights so that you can know earlier how to act quicker and maximize your return on each trade opportunity. For more information about the service, all you need to do is go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this report in the description. So just click on the link, make an application, and we will of course get in touch with you ASAP, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you're kept updated with the latest commodity reports.